Good morning. Well, these are the days of migration and immigrants, and it's usually said that Canada is a country of migrants. Now, what attracts people to Canada? When they come here, the summer and in the fall, they are attracted by the climate. But when the winter sets in, the blizzards, the benumbing snow, the killing cold makes one yearn for the better Mediterranean Indian climates. And yet, people come here. People come here and they claim that the standard of life is high, but they still suffer from many problems. And most of the people I talk to say that they come here for the children. The children would have better education, better opportunities in life. But recently, a study was done, and the study was done of 45 countries, where the people who have immigrated were interviewed, were a part of the focus group, and it was seen that on a level of 1 to 7, Canada is not in the top 19 countries where the immigrants go. The immigrants themselves rated everything from child care to education, to children health, safety, to raising dependent children, and everything. And it was found that in the top countries, it was Finland, Czechoslovakia, Israel, Austria, Sweden, Norway, Australia, Taiwan, Belgium, which were there. But Canada does not come anywhere in the top 2 decades, or a score of countries. About 24 countries on the top do not include Canada. And yet people from all over the world try to come to Canada. Sometimes I'm amazed that despite all the issues, still they come. And as I've seen, that is not among the top 20 destinations. As a matter of fact, we have seen another study by United Nations shows that the population of immigrants versus the natives, the original inhabitants, is maximum in United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Liechtenstein, Andorra, Macau, Bahrain, Singapore, Luxembourg. Here, the immigrants as a proportion of population, though they are high, they are not as high as they are. Secondly, when you come to a new country, you are a stranger. And are the people kind to the strangers here? We Canadians swear by the Canadian values and say all the time that we are very kind. The Canadians are kind. They are compassionate. They care. A study was done again by the United Nations, and in the top 10 countries where people are kindest to the strangers, Canada doesn't come anywhere. Can you believe which is the country where the people are kindest to the strangers? It's Iraq, followed by Libya. USA comes at number 9, but in the top 10, Canada doesn't come. Why? One gets amazed that this act of kindness We welcome refugees like anything. Trump says that he will not have it, and Trudeau says, from one tea to another tea, welcome to my bosom. And then, it's amazing that the people who are living in dangerous places, unstable places like Iraq, they are most likely to help a stranger than the people in Canada or in Europe. So, first thing that people here, as per the study of the United Nations, are not kind as they are in the other countries. Secondly, the people here come here and then they are frustrated. Then there's another issue, and that is the civic sense or the civic space. Do we have the civic space? As a matter of fact, Canada lacks in civic space. There's a global tool called Civicus Monitor which tracks 134 countries of the world. According to them, Canada is not among the top 16 countries which is really global-minded, open society. There's a certain uncomfortable mismatch that Canadians say that they're very progressive, and the study shows that they are not as progressive as they claim to be. Do you know that the Trudeau government is the lowest commitment to the international assistance in the past 50 years? The basic rights of the individuals and organizations, the freedom of association, peaceful assembly, they have all been curtailed. Can you believe that one charity organization, Canadian Unitarian Council, was forced to remove the word justice and social justice from its mission statement? So a country which forces a charity organization not to have justice and social justice in the mission statement, what sort of civic space does it allow? And yet we say that freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and that's going to have another hit with the coming in of, in case M103 becomes C something something. Because from motion to the rule, the law, is not a long jump. So looking at it, that it is not the favorite spot, that here the people lack civic space, that the people are not kind, yet people come. And the people come here because of different reasons. There's a group of the people who come here and they say that they are going to the new place for the new ventures. The biggest advantage, of course, is English speaking, though there is a craze for being bilingual as well. Secondly, it is the British Empire and the people who come here from the former British colonies found a kinship here, and that's why they came here. Thirdly, for the people of China is the shortest distance away as a free society, that nobody can deny that as compared to the other countries nearby, it is a much freer society. Fourthly, and the most importantly, is the romance of the place. A halo has been built up in the immigrants' minds that this is a place where the honey and milk flows. And when they come here, because of the different economic milieu, they are simply dazzled. Getting a car, a house, a sprawling bungalow, or mortgage for which they worked the whole life. But it's there. And when they go home, back home to there, they try to enchant their friends and relations with the accumulated wealth. Of course, there are some things which are very important. The public school education is an excellent thing for the children. University and college education is expensive. But then the second is the universal health system, which may not be the best, but it is definitely the second best in the world. People may not be kind, and they are not kind, but they are not even hostile. They take you as human beings and not as subhuman beings. This is amazing, one thing, that this is a very placid society, very peaceful, calm society. And being calm and placid, they accept people. They welcome people in need. But once you are there, they let you go on your own rather than breathe down your neck. And that is where the difference lies. They care as human beings, but they do not impinge on your privacy. The other countries like Iraq and others, yes, they are very peaceful in the sense they welcome and are kind to the strangers. But they are kind because of the typical situation of being sufferers. And when they see another human being, if they can mitigate his sufferings, maybe it shall be salvation to them and a salve, an ointment to their wounded psyche. Canadians, and I have seen it in the last 20 years, are people who believe in acceptance, but do not believe in overweening desire to intrude. That's the positive thing. And that is what attracts people. Another thing which attracts people here is equality of opportunity. You are not discriminated against. There might be some cases of discrimination. That's quite possible. That would always be there. But by and large, the society is egalitarian. The society is that of being inclusive, and the discrimination is minimal. There are countries where you are accepted and yet you are discriminated against. I'm not talking of the Scandinavian countries. I'm talking of the countries like, say, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, which they say more immigrants are there. But we forget at that time that none of those immigrants has a right to citizenship. So this survey was wrong from that point of view, because they talked of the immigrants, but not of the immigrant citizens. If the same survey had been conducted in a different manner and been confined to the citizens, then the results would have been different. And then now comes the difference between Canada and USA. USA is a melting pot. You become an American and you're proud of being an American. Here you retain your distinct identity, which some people are very fond of, and rightly so. till that separate identity becomes a divisive hurdle. And that is what more often than not happens. So, these surveys, these studies are in fact lopsided because they do not reveal the reality. The sample is wrong, the respondents are not properly picked up, and the questions can be loaded. I was amazed when I found that Saudi Arabia is one of the countries where immigrants are more. But then I realized that those are immigrants, are workers who have gone there. They are not the citizens. If I look at the immigrant citizens, then it's countries like USA, Australia and Canada which should be at the top rather than the other way around. Nevertheless, Canada has been, is, and hopefully shall continue to be the beacon that attracts migrants from all over, not only from South Asia, not only from China and Philippines, but as I said, from all over. It's a candle that attracts moths from all over who come here, try to find better way, better life. Some may be frustrated, but by and large, they become a part of the society and ensure the openness of a new society while contributing to that. Canada, that's the reason Canada attracts people forever and forever. Thank you.